Hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm Alexa, and this is 365-ish days to launch, 5 things that we're doing to achieve our dream in 1 year. So we've been married 9 years. Next year's the big 10-year anniversary. We always had this grand idea of a 10-year plan where we would leave everything and travel or live overseas, maybe in a fabulous chic flat in Paris.
But so far we are deep into adulthood. We have kids, student loans, we have insurance bills to pay, we have regular bills to pay, we have jobs that we have to attend to, we have investments that are tanking. Luckily, we have good health, and we have 2 beautiful kids, we have a good home over our head, and we have good jobs. However, we are definitely itching.
You said a good home over our head.
Damn. But we are itching for something else. We live in the United States along the northeast coast in Boston, and I've always loved fishing, albeit most of my fishing has been freshwater.
Oh, Bo reeling in a bluegill.
Woo! I got a big one!
Wow. Holy cow, bring that in, Bo. You're going to use that to catch the bass.
It's a bluegill.
Right. Nice job. Let's take a look at it.
I want to let it go in the ocean.
Okay. What a beautiful fish. Good job, man. Pound.
A few years ago, I bought a small center console fishing motorboat, and it has changed our lives forever. At least I feel like it has. I personally have fell in love with saltwater fishing, and over the years I have honed in my saltwater fishing skills.
You can do your own version of Wicked Tuna in some other video.
Yeah. In future videos, I hope to share with you my fishing adventures in the Boston Harbor. But most importantly, my wife and my kids also love being immersed in nature and outdoors. We have fallen in love with traveling to remote beaches and having picnics in the sand and hiking along these remote islands.
There they go.
Of course, being on a boat all day that doesn't have a bathroom isn't great for me. So we thought that maybe next season that we would get a really small upgrade to a boat that has an inside, which I think is called a salon, and a bathroom.
In cabins, right?
And maybe a cabin.
Because we kind of like to spend a night on the ocean if possible.
Yeah, camp out on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
So while browsing boats online, we came across these charter programs where you could actually buy a whole big boat, charter it part of the year, then use it part of the year yourself, and basically have it paid for by having it in the charter program.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pretty much own a yacht for free because some of these programs actually allow you to have a zero down type financing as well, which sounds amazing. Who wouldn't want to do that if they could?
Right.
So we casually were looking into that for a while.
And then one night, when we were looking at YouTube channels doing research for our dream boat, we came across a channel called Gone with the Winds.
And something just clicked.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Gone with the Winds. I don't know if it's just the way you guys film, the destinations, the awesome looking boat, or all the adventures that you take, but it just lit a fire and it was like, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
So the Winds have a catamaran sailboat. Sailboats weren't even on our radar at the time. And
Right.
I've never sailed before on a sailboat. And Mike's, what have you been on a sailboat? Twice?
Mm-hmm.
And once was like
Boy Scouts.
Yeah, Boy Scouts in really choppy water with a neighbor on Boston Harbor in a tiny little monohull sailboat.
Mm-hmm.
But with one of these, it's like a catamaran is almost like a motorhome on a boat. And yeah, I'm down to learn to sail on something like that for sure. Also with sailboats, ethically, it seems like a much better way to boat because you don't have this gas-powered engine that's contributing to ocean pollution. Also, you definitely have a longer range because you don't have to rely on a limited supply of gas.
Additionally, the stability and the safety on the larger catamarans, like 45 or 50 feet, for blue water sailing has been proven, and that is also a very reassuring aspect considering, we're a family of 4 with 2 small kids. Boat life is very maintenance heavy. That's why I feel like with my background of a DIY attitude, do-it-yourself attitude, I feel like this would come very handy for blue water sailing. I have always been DIY since I was little. I've helped my dad with various real estate projects that he has. And I continue this to this day. I feel like it gives me a good sense of accomplishment, it saves money, and I like learning about new things. Over the last few years, we've both discovered that we love the ocean and we love being outside and exploring new places. So, our big next adventure that we have been searching for is to take the family blue water sailing in a sailing catamaran. Yes. We plan to do this for 6 months out of the year and kind of live off the grid. And for the other 6 months to come back to our home in Boston. This way we can continue to have relationships with our family and our friends, and our kids can have a social life here on land. We hope that our kids will get a social life while we are blue water sailing as well. And we also want to keep up with our maintenance of our careers and our property management here.
So it was really serendipitous to come across their channel. But I've noticed since looking at their channel, looking at a bunch of other similar channels about sailing catamarans and blue water sailing, that there are quite a few channels with younger people doing this. You know, people in their 20s and early 30s with no kids, who have just kind of done this. This is what they've done in their adult life, which is amazing and wonderful. But, and sorry to characterize it this way, we're bringing a lot of baggage. We have kids, we're in the middle of careers. There aren't so many channels out there doing this with all the baggage that we're bringing.
Our land-based ties are immense, and to be able to separate our land-based ties to go off the grid blue water sailing is going to be a Herculean task.
Yes. So how do we achieve this as a couple in early midlife, and shout out to the millennials, yes, we are in midlife now, with 2 kids, a business, and jobs, and just leave that behind for this adventure?
The number one and most important priority of this plan is to achieve comfortable financial independence, because blue water sailing and living off the grid for 6 months out of the year has a significant cost.
We're going to have sailboat maintenance, we're going to have travel costs, we're going to have extra insurance, global connectivity costs, and maintaining our business here, which is going to require hiring management. The cost of hiring management for our business segues us into point number 2, which is that we need to engage a great property management service for our rental portfolio that we've built here in Boston. Currently, we manage our rentals.
We've had a property manager in the past, and it didn't work out very well. So we are trying to be extra careful this time around, and we know that it is going to cost a lot of extra money.
Yes. There are good managers and there are bad managers. So it's going to take some time to weed through the vast array of property managers in this area. We're going to need recommendations. If you have any, please leave them down below.
We currently manage our real estate portfolio 100% ourselves. We do all the tenant communication. I do all of the repairs, anywhere from exteriors, roofs, interiors, plumbing, drywall. I do landscaping. So there's a lot of tasks that go into managing the properties that we currently do, and there's a lot of money that we try to save in this process.
We feel that self-management really allows us to know the tenants, and that way, while we maintain the properties the way that we would want them maintained if we live there, we also are able to make sure the tenants have a really safe, comfortable home that they enjoy. We treat them how we'd want to be treated, and it just leads to a better tenant-landlord relationship. So here's hoping that we can find a property manager that treats our properties and our tenants as we do.
So the third thing we have to do to prepare ourselves for our sailboating dream is to prepare our kids.
So we're constantly building this picture for them of what this life might look like. If we don't have their buy-in, if we get out there and they're just miserable and they, really didn't know what to expect, we might have to just turn around and just, end the whole thing.
Right.
But I think if we get their buy-in, we involve them in the planning, and we make it just as much about them as about us, they'll really enjoy it, and we think this is something special we could do for them.
We also think that our kids are at an appropriate age where this is a good launching point. Our older son is 8 years old, and our younger daughter is 5.
Another consideration with our kids is that we will have to choose a program to homeschool them for the time that we're gone. And if anyone has any recommendations for homeschool programs, please leave them below. But yes, it'll have to be something that they find engaging and fun, and we find bearable.
that we think is doing a service to our children and helping them be better human beings.
And that we find meets our needs and educational philosophy as well. So thing number 4, we gonna need to learn to sail.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So considering that I've never sailed, Mike has barely sailed, we're gonna need to learn. So we found that there are programs all over the place, but I think that for us it would really work to be able to go down, do a 1-week-long program that allows you to live on the boat and work on the boat and kind of have a working vacation. We've found programs in the Fort Lauderdale area that do this every week throughout the year. You go, you learn to sail, and you can gain your ASA certifications, which are required to be able to get insurance for the boat and sail by yourself without having to have a captain or a crew or anything like that.
Right. And the 5th, but by no means last thing that we have to do to prepare ourselves for our sailboat launch is buy the boat.
So we've been going to boat shows. We went to the Newport Boat Show just by chance a couple weekends ago, and it was really fun. We're going to the Annapolis Boat Show in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be epic because it's like the hugest boat show. I think maybe there's bigger ones, but this seems to be like the United States Boat Show. It's going to be a big deal.
Right.
So we want to find out about the boats. We're researching brands. We're thinking about budgets. We're talking to some brokers.
We are also talking to lenders, and with the current changing interest rates, it's going to be a little tricky.
The cost of the boat is definitely a concern. The budgeting, especially with the interest rates changing, we're probably looking at a boat between 3 and 7 years old, we think, at this point.
But you never know.
So we want to be able to have it so that we get it sometime next summer, hopefully, so that we can take it out on short trips just in the harbor and progressively longer trips so that we can see how it handles, get the DIY boat maintenance groove on, and just kind of see how boat life is and see if it really is something that we think we could do for months at a time before we commit to a massive undertaking and lifestyle change. So definitely please leave us your recommendations for boat brands, boats, and brokers down below. By no means is this an all-inclusive list of things we have to do to prepare. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more. We just want to touch on kind of the big items.
A lot of the research that we've been doing have been showing families that have, or couples that have just left everything behind on land and jumped right into the blue water sailing and just living off the grid. We're trying to do more of a hybrid approach, where we still have a lengthy amount of time blue water cruising, yet a lengthy amount of time on land as well.
So we feel very fortunate to be able to consider doing this, and we want to share our journey and create this channel, especially for inspiration to other people who might be deep into adulthood and wanting a change. We feel like this is a great way to keep ourselves accountable and to kind of track our journey and document it. And so no big disappointment if nobody watches our channel.
So that's our 0 to 365 day challenge and our launch to sailboating. And we really hope that we can share our experiences with you throughout the years of our life, our business, our careers, and all the little steps and big steps that we have to take to achieve this dream of ours. So I think this could offer an educational benefit for folks out there who may be trying to do a hybrid model.
This is a big goal and a big life change. And we're definitely going to plan to give ourselves some grace if things don't go as planned.
Yeah.
But we do believe that any change of this magnitude also requires massive action, which includes making this YouTube channel. This is our first video. We really hope that if you like it and you want to come along the journey with us, please like and subscribe. That's
Please.
So funny to say, please.
Any help and guidance, and we're very appreciative.
Please comment, and we'd love to get back to your comments. So have a great one, and see you next video.
Bye-bye.